This Sunday we talked about rooted in faith and what that looks like for us. How are you being spiritually formed? Jesus talked about this. He talked about the different soil of hearts. We look at Mark chapter 4, and even in verse 13 through 20, Jesus talks about the different types of people and their responses to the gospel. He says, the footpath, if a seed of the gospel is planted along a footpath, people hear, but they don't do anything with it. Rocky soil, they hear it and they receive it, but they don't have deep roots. So soon they fall away when problems come. Thorns, you hear about the word, but the message is crowded out by worries, lure of money and desires for other things. And then the good soil. Jesus talks about this, and these are people that hear the word, they accept it, and then their life produces fruit. They're solid in their faith, and when trials happen, they still cling to God. This is so important when we're talking about, purposeful every day, because our faith should have purpose behind it. How are you being spiritually formed? How are you maturing in your relationship with Jesus? Think about who has had great impact on your spiritual life. And are you that person for someone else? Are you continually to grow spiritually? Or are you stuck in a rut? These are all things that we need to pay attention to. We have an amazing discipleship program here at Foothills. So if you haven't started yet, sign up. Just fill out a little thing on the communication card on the website, foothillscc.com, and you can even hit connect with us and just write in there in the info discipleship program, and we'll pair you up with someone. But if you've started and maybe because of COVID and the quarantine, you've stopped meeting or you've stopped doing your studies, I just encourage you to start back up again. Maybe with a phone call. Maybe that's what it's going to take. But send each other notes and encouragement from maybe your time with God that you've been reading and studying the Bible, because God has so much to say to us, and that can be an encouragement to someone else. So be thinking again this week, how are you being spiritually formed? Are you being spiritually formed? And what can you do about that? What can be the next steps that you take? I look at Romans chapter 12, 1 and 2. And Paul talks about offering our bodies as living sacrifices because of all that God has done for you. He says, let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind that he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person, changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good, pleasing, and perfect. So I pray this for you today, that you would want more and more of God, that you would dive deep into your relationship with him, and that your faith would be purposeful every day. Pray for you and have a great day.